Welcome to the 2023 Ultra Trail Kosciuszko by UTMB Miler Briefing. My name is Nick Christopher and I'm your race director. Our course director is Tom Landon Smith and the event doctor is Lucas Trahi. Below are some key timings that I want you guys to keep in mind as you get into the rest of this week. Friday, obviously we have the start for the miler at 5:30 a.m. from Friday at flat at Threadbow. Again, this is different to what we did last year, so please make sure you know that we're starting this race this year at Friday flats. After that 5:30 start for the miler, we will have the 6 a.m. start for the Kosci 100. Coming into Saturday, there's a 10 a.m. cutoff for the 100K with 28 hours total time. And for you miler runners, you have 36 hours total time with a cutoff of Saturday, the 9th of December at 5:30 p.m. So these times here are your two main start and finish times, but there's also tons going on throughout the rest of the week in the build-up of the race. One thing to note is that Wednesday at 2 p.m. we will have that race director Q&A at the Jinnabine Sport and Rec Center. So please take an opportunity to come by that on Tuesday if you can. I'll be there. Some of the other event team will be there as well. And it's a great opportunity for you guys to come, ask us questions, help iron out any little last minute details in regards to your race. And I really hope to see you guys there so that we can start to get to know each other and I can help answer any questions you guys might have. For those of you that are viewing this miler briefing, we are going to be doing the same thing again on Thursday this week at 3 p.m. in person. So this briefing here is going to kind of go over some high level stuff in regards to the event that I just want you guys to be aware of. But again, please take the opportunity to come join us in person. It's a great chance to be able to ask more specific, detailed questions, have a conversation about it, and talk with the event team. And hopefully we're going to be able to set you guys up for a great race come Friday. If you haven't seen it already, here's the course. I'm assuming most of you have. Again, a lot of this information is already included in your runner guide, so please use that runner guide as reference for a lot of the event-specific details in regards to your miler race. As I mentioned before, start and finish at Friday Flats up at Threadbow. You'll have 164.6 kilometers in your race this year. With plus or minus 4,378 meters of elevation. 13 checkpoints along your journey, and take a look at that runner guide for the specific checkpoint stock list. It'd be great if you guys are able to pay attention to the course markings and listen to any of the checkpoint staff when you're entering and exiting the checkpoints. We want to ensure that you guys do cross those timing mats on both entry and exit from those checkpoints, so we know where you are at all times, and it allows you to kind of see your splits throughout the race as well too. One thing to note on this course as well, something that we didn't get to experience last year, is the mandatory walking section. So for the miler runners, that one mandatory walking section is just after you leave Eagle's Nest checkpoint on your second pass when you start making your way to the summit of Mount Kosciuszko. That's going to occur at about the 18.5 kilometer mark and will continue until the 22.6 kilometer mark. You must walk in this section. It's a requirement of ours in order for us to host this event that we need you guys to walk that. It's a safety thing, and it's also done to ensure that everybody in this section has a fair race to this point. Timing mats will be located at both the start and the finish of these steel mesh walkways in this mandatory walking section. At the bottom, before you cross that mat, you will receive a little note card with the time of day at the start of that section. You need to hold on to that card until you get to the top at the end of the mandatory walking section. Once you're at the top, the staff up there will look at your card and make sure that you do not pass that timing mat at the top until 45 minutes have passed. So for example, and this is just an example, an easy one to kind of conceptualize what this is. If your card says 8:30 a.m. at the bottom, then you won't be able to pass the timing mats at the top until 9:15. So 8:30 down at the bottom, plus 45 minutes, 9:15 at the top. We ask that you do respect this event staff up at the top, who are going to be letting you know when you can pass that timing mat up at the top of the mandatory walking section. Course marshals and event staff will be present at both locations, and we've done this to ensure that you can have a safe, enjoyable time on the walking section, as well as allow us to comply with some of our race requirements as part of this event. So any specific questions about that, please bring your questions to the in-person race director Q&A Wednesday at 2 p.m. or the Miler briefing at 3 o'clock on Thursday. Here's another look at the profile for this event for your miler. Again, it's 164.6 kilometers in total distance with plus or minus 4,738 meters of elevation. What we've done here on this slide here is we've highlighted in green the locations where you have the drop bags. Purple is where you will have your pacer pickup locations. We'll go into a little bit more detail about that on the next slide. Here's a bit of a summary for your drop bags and your pacers. Again, this information can be found in the runner guide, so please use that runner guide for more specific information regarding drop bags and pacers. In summary, drop bags are available at Charlotte Pass, Guthiga Power Station, both passes, Sawpit Creek, Trout Hatchery, both passes, Banjo-Patterson Park, Bullock's Flat, and Nagargo Campground. Pacers are allowed at Spawners, Sawpit, Banjo-Patterson, Bullock's Flat, and Nagargo. Please remember that spectators and support crew are not allowed at the Trout Hatchery checkpoint, so please make sure you use your drop bags at this location if you require any additional items while you're out on the course. Here's a bit of a weather outlook for you guys for the Friday and the Saturday. As we're all well aware, the weather can continuously and on a whim change here in the snowy mountains. However, keep in mind that Friday should be very, very warm. It's definitely going to be windy. We should see a maximum of 15 degrees at Threadbow Top Station with temperatures between 22 and 23 at both Perisher Valley and Threadbow Village during the day. There'll be a nice warm top temperature of 26 degrees at the lower elevations in and around Jindabyne. Early morning minimum of about 9 to 10 degrees. There will be a chance of showers and possible thunderstorms on and off throughout the day, so please be prepared for potential to get a little bit wet out there. Saturday, very, very similar, a bit warmer in the mornings. It's going to be a very warm morning to start your day on Saturday, with minimum temps hovering about 13 to 14 degrees. There's similar top temps for Threadbow Village and Perisher Valley that you saw on Friday, coming in at about that 22 to 23 degree mark. A top of 27 in and around Jindabyne on Saturday, and the same expectation for showers on and off throughout the day as well. Taking into consideration the weather and also knowing that we do have a pretty extensive list of mandatory gear, I just wanted to run through this mandatory gear again with you guys, just to let you know that you will need to check the social media and the event website for the weather-dependent mandatory gear ruling, which will be coming out very shortly, probably by the time you see this briefing as well. So as it stands, based on the weather forecast and what we expect to see out on the course for the Friday and the Saturday, the long leg waterproof pants are not compulsory. If you want to bring them along with you, that's fine. Put them in one of your drop bags if you reckon you want to have a little bit of extra coverage for when some of those afternoon, evening, and late night thunderstorms and rain showers come through. Also, the long sleeve thermal that is marked as your weather dependent item is not going to be compulsory. However, we do recommend that it be carried with you after sunset to have on hand when it does get a little bit cooler at night and when out on the course overnight. These items can be added to one of your drop bags to access at night. Just a reminder that we will be performing random gear checks at various locations on the course. We ask that you please comply with all the event staff who will be assisting in doing these mandatory gear checks. And as another friendly reminder, the pacer gear will also be checked on course. Your pacers are required to carry the same mandatory gear as you are, And if your pacer does not have the required mandatory gear, you, as the runner, will need to serve that time penalty. So talk to your mates, talk to your pacers, and make sure that they have the same mandatory gear as you. They must carry that with them at all times. There will be sections on the course where you will need to wear your high-vis vest, so please refer to the runner guide for specifics as to when that does need to occur. There are a few sections where you will be on the road, coming particularly between Piper's Creek down along Kosciuszko Road as you make your way down to Sawpit Creek checkpoint. So please, again, check your runner guide and make sure you have the right high-vis vest and you understand when you do need to wear that. Our event team will do our best to remind you when to wear that, but ultimately it is your responsibility to be aware of when that needs to occur. If at any time you do find yourself in a bit of an emergency situation, you're not doing well, you're not near one of the checkpoints, you haven't seen one of the marshals, you're just not having a great day, or you need some extra assistance, please remember that on the back of your bib is all of your emergency information. It's got the number for the event safety team, it has the process for withdrawals, and if at any point you need assistance out on course, please make sure you refer to that number. It's probably worthwhile now looking at the back of your bibs once you guys do your check-in, or referring to this presentation here to save the phone number for the event safety team on the back of your bib. This is just another great way to ensure that if you do find yourself in a bit of trouble, you have an opportunity and are prepared enough to be able to get a hold of us so that we can come out and assist you in any way possible. Don't forget to download the event app. The event app for you guys while you're running, maybe not so much of a go-to resource. However, in the build-up to the event, it's got all of the information you're going to need. It's got links to the event schedule, timings, locations, and it's a great way for your support crew, your spectators, and everybody here who's along with the journey to be able to find the right information that they need in order to support you out on your journey. We've linked driving directions to the supported checkpoints, and there's tons and tons and tons of information in that event app. So if you haven't already, go ahead and download the event app and use that as a good additional source of information in the build-up and during your race as well too. We'll finish this one off with a bit of medical advice for you guys. We try to keep this one simple. It's really quite straightforward. Our medical safety team across all of our Oceania trail events as well as the New Zealand trail events have worked hard to kind of come up with 5 simple rules for you guys to remember to help you have a great time out there. Say no to NSAIDs. It doesn't mix well with these long endurance events. I know it's easy sometimes just to take a few when you're not feeling well, you got a bit of a niggle, you got a headache or something like that. But we ask you guys to try to avoid using those. It does not mix well in these long endurance events. Simple rule number 2 is drink to thirst. You don't need to overhydrate, but we also don't want you to underhydrate. And the simplest way to do that is to drink when you're thirsty. Keep adequate hydration levels and listen to your body. Be prepared for the conditions. This one's pretty simple considering there's a mandatory gear list. We need you to adhere to that compulsory gear. The mandatory gear list is there to keep you guys safe, and if you do find yourself in a bit of strife, that mandatory gear should keep you safe enough to wait until somebody can come attend to you as well. And with the ever-changing weather conditions, you always want to be prepared. Don't try to be a hero. Don't try to shave off 500 grams from your weight that you're carrying for the sake of not having 2 liters of water or not having a specific item. It doesn't work out well. We will be doing compulsory gear checks out on course, so please make sure you are always prepared for the conditions. It's going to be cold at times. It's going to be very warm. It'll be windy. It'll be wet. And it'll be dry as well too. So just make sure you have that compulsory gear with you. It's there to make sure that you stay safe out on the race. Rule number 4 that we like to follow is that the race doesn't end at the finish line. Just because you come across the finish line doesn't mean your race is finished. There's a lot that continues on with your body, with your mind after that race. So be prepared. Make sure you've got warm clothes after the event, dry clothes, new socks, a pair of slides or your Birkenstocks, whatever it is that make your feet comfortable after your race. Have a plan for what you want to eat after the race. Have a plan for how you're going to get home. Don't come to the finish line and then just shut off. We know some people might, but we're here to help you, but we want you guys to have a plan now. Work through that with your spectators, your support crew, your family, your friends, and make sure you do have a plan for post-race, because your race does not finish at the finish line. And in the trail community, we're always looking out for each other. So we ask you guys to look out for your fellow runners, see how people are going, have a conversation out on course. And if you see something that doesn't look right, somebody's not feeling well, or something's just not going great, please ask, speak up, and let one of our event staff know. There'll be plenty of marshals, checkpoint staff, event staff, and course crew out on the trails for you this weekend to make sure that in the event that something's a little bit out of place or somebody's not doing well, we can attend to them and make sure that we see to them in a timely manner. And last but not least, I just want to say good luck to you all. I think it's been an absolute journey getting us to this point. I think we saw a lot of craziness last year with the course changes and everything like that. I can't guarantee you guys any snow for this year, which is a good thing. However, there is a little bit out there. The course team tells me you guys will run through a few snow drifts up near your main range. So you get a little taste of it, but not the same as last year. For those of you joining us for the first time, have fun out there, challenge yourselves, trust your training, enjoy the adventure, and make sure you share in the fun with the rest of the runners out there on course. Again, take advantage of coming to the Race Director Q&A on Wednesday at 2 p.m. as well as the in-person Miler briefing on Thursday at 3 p.m. Bring your specific detailed questions to those. I'll be happy to answer those when I see you in person. I hope to get to know a lot of you throughout the next couple days. Looking forward to seeing you at the start line out on course and welcoming you all to the finish line at Friday Flat up at Threadbow. At some stage on the Friday and the Saturday. So again, look out for yourselves, have fun, trust your training, be safe, and let us know if you have any extra questions. Thanks.